Welcome to Culinary Basics. So today I'm going to be going through our lab procedures with you a little bit and introducing you to our first lab, which is going to be chocolate chip dip. So first, before we get into lab, we have to do a couple things. First, you have to put your hair up, which I've already done. I've already done the 20-second scrub with my hands, and I've already put on our aprons. So after that, we're going to be getting into our kitchen. You're going to get your tray, get with your group and everything, and then you're going to be coming up to a demo or the ingredient table and getting all the ingredients. So the purpose of this entire lab is not for measurement or preciseness or to have everything perfected yet, but it's for safety and sanitation. So we really want to see that you guys have practiced your safety and sanitation procedures and that you can complete this lab effectively. So the first step of our lab says, in a small bowl, combine cream cheese and butter until light and fluffy. So since I know I have my cream cheese and my butter already ready to go, that's something that's really easily stuck together. So I know that when I look in my bin, I don't want to use my whisk. I don't want to use my whisk because I know it's going to come out all filled in there. So I have my rubber scraper and I also have a spoon. I'm probably just going to use my spoon because I think that's going to be easiest for me. So I have my bowl that I'm going to be mixing in. I already have my cream cheese softened and my butter softened. So difference between hardened butter and softened butter is that it's easily moldable, which is what we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start mixing these together. You should see it's already coming together really well. If this was hardened butter, it wouldn't really be forming this spread that we are going to be doing. So when you think of a dip, it's easily spreadable on whatever you are eating it with. And again, I'm going to grab my straight edge spatula. I'm going to kind of get it off. And again, you're just molding this all together until it's well formed. So I already have my cream cheese and my butter mixed. So the next part, it is asking me to measure out my sugar. So I have brown sugar and I have powdered sugar in this. And I have to do some measurements now. So these are our measuring equipment that we use in this class. We have our measuring cups that are used for dry ingredients. We have our measuring spoons that are for smaller amounts but could be wet or dry. And then we have our liquid measuring cup, which obviously it's a liquid measuring cup, so all you do is measure based off of the quantity that you put in there. So I'm not going to need that today, but I am going to need my other measuring cups. So my powdered sugar, it says on my recipe, I need 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons. So since this is just an introductory lab, you are not going to need to, you're not going to be graded on how you measure. Your teacher is going to be there to help you, but we do have to start practicing measurements. So it says I need 1/4 cup. How do I know if it's 1/4 cup? All I'm going to do is read it. So this first cup that I have in here, my smallest one, it says 1/4, that's 1/4. I also have 1/3, I have 1/2, and then I have 1. I'm going to be measuring my first dry ingredient, which is powdered sugar. It says I need 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons. So when we are measuring powdered sugar or anything, we always want to level it off. Since my one straight edge spatula was already dirty from my butter, I know I can't use that because we don't want to mix ingredients. So I'm going to level this out and level it off. I'm going to add this in to my butter and my cream cheese mixture. I also need 2 tablespoons. So again, I'm just going to be reading this. My smallest amount is a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, and then we have 1 tablespoon, which is the one that I need. So I'm going to scoop that up. Again, level it off. Put that in there. Again, same thing. And then I'm going to be moving on to my brown sugar. So my brown sugar, I just need 1 tablespoon. So I'm just going to, since these are both sugars, put that in there. And again, when I'm packing my brown sugar, it should almost come out like a sandcastle. So when I put this in there, it should resemble the shape, which it does, just like if you were building a sandcastle. So next part I'm going to do is I'm just going to be mixing these together until they are all mixed in. So just combining all of my ingredients. And then I'm going to be adding in my vanilla. So my vanilla is a small amount. I only need 1/2 teaspoon. So again, I'm going to go to my measuring spoons. And again, these could be liquid or dry ingredients. And I'm going to find my 1/2 teaspoon. My 1/2 teaspoon is right here. And this hasn't been used before, so it's still clean. And I'm going to measure it over a custard cup. I'm going to do this one because it's already been used. I never want to measure it over my dish because if you pour extra on here, it'll really affect the flavor, just like that. And I'm just going to pour that in. And now I'm just going to mix until everything is combined. That vanilla that you just added in really makes the texture, even though it's a half of a teaspoon, a lot easier to blend together. So the last step is going to be the best part, which makes this a chocolate chip dip, which is of course the chocolate chips. So I have not used my half of a cup, and I'm going to find that one. So I haven't used it, so I'm just going to scoop this out of the bag. This doesn't have to be leveled off because it's chocolate chips. Those are delicious. So I'm going to pour that in, and all you're going to do is fold those over and blend until they are all combined. So after this step, so this is our finished product of our delicious chocolate chip dip to help you with your safety and sanitation procedures. You are going to put these on some graham crackers or dip them, split it between you and your partner, and that is your first slab. Hope you had fun.